Welcome to our first episode of Two Hairstylists in a Podcast.
Yay! Where we are going to be sharing our unsolicited opinions and perspectives on everything beauty, hair, nails, makeup,
Everything.
lashes,
Anything that's going to make you a hottie.
skin, a baddie. Whatever is gonna make you a baddie, feel like a baddie, look like a baddie, all that. We're gonna talk about it.
But please take what we say with a grain of salt.
No, take mine with a big salt.
Ooh. Because, child, what do we really know? We just two hairstylists in the podcast. We just trying to put y'all on. That's it.
And you can put us on too.
That part.
Get in our comments, all that. Like
Everything.
We're open.
We're here to engage you. You engage us. You teach us. We teach you. Each one teach one. Okay?
All of that. I'm here for it.
Yes. So, how did you start doing hair? Like, what got you into doing hair?
I have been doing hair since I was a little girl. I grew up, just being in the hair industry, being in the old school salon setting. I really didn't know if I wanted to be a hairstylist, but in my early 20s, I decided that that's where the bag was. So I followed the bag.
No, that's right. I started doing hair in cosmetology in high school. So like when I was in ninth grade, we had like a cosmetology class, and I kind of just took it because I was like, "Ooh, this is gonna be easy." And when I got in there, I said, "Actually, it's not easy, but it is fun." So I just kept with it. I did hair like all throughout college, and even then I was like, I'm not gonna do hair. I'm gonna work in fashion. And then literally as soon as I graduated college, I went to hair school.
Hair, but make it fashion.
That part. So then after I went to hair school, I just started working in the salon. I always have been in a suite, and yeah.
Which is where we met.
Yes. So we actually met because we used to work at the same salon suites, and we ended up being neighbors. And I would always go over there and bother her and ask her for random stuff if I needed it. Like, oh, you got a little bleach?
And I followed right behind. I ran out of gloves. Can I have a glove?
Right. We was just, taking care of each other.
You know what I always think is funny? Like when I first started braiding your hair and then I abruptly stopped.
Oh,
tell them how my attitude was when
Man, okay. So I was getting my hair braided from her. Like this is right when I first started getting my hair braided. And so she braided my hair and I was like, okay, like, I'm about to start getting my hair braided like regularly.
Huh? Yeah.
I wouldn't say I just liked getting my hair braided.
You liked me and my braids.
I liked getting my hair braided. But so fast forward, I hit her up and I was like, okay, I'm trying to get my hair braided. She was like, I don't do braids no more. I'm pregnant and I don't want to stand on I don't want to do it. I can't. I said, okay. And so I went and got my braids done by somebody else. Shout out to Jay Renee, because she slayed my shit. And then she saw my hair braided. She saw something. Oh, I could do your braids. Oh no, Bookie.
And we've been inseparable ever since.
Yeah, don't try to come. And she been trying to braid my hair ever since.
I do not like braiding his hair.
You ain't got to worry about me.
And you ain't got to worry about me.
But I feel like, yeah, that definitely was a good intro into our friendship. Because after that, we ain't never really stopped hanging out and talking and chit-chatting and
you've been
most.
Stalking me ever since, actually.
Right. So, yeah. So then, after us being friends for I don't know how long, all the time we on the phone talking about different hair stuff, different techniques, talking about our day with our clients.
Our experiences, coming home from a long day.
Let
me tell you
what this client did, girl.
And after a bomb conversation of venting and letting it out, we be like, we need to start a podcast. Like, somebody should have been listening in on this. Like, we needed to share this.
We had so many topics where we was like, oh my gosh, like, this is perfect for a podcast. This is perfect.
Yeah.
And then finally, one day, it just really clicked, and we was like, okay, we about to do this for real.
Like, last year, we said we was going to do it for real.
We've been saying we was going to do it for real.
We was like, for real. But this time, it's like, for real.
I don't even know what the difference was. It just really was like, we just really started.
Don't get me to preaching, because it's just, God's time.
God's plan.
Jesus points us. But, yeah. So, here we are, two hairstylists and a podcast.
Two hairstylists in the podcast. So every week or every episode, we're gonna be like referencing like something that a lot of people experience. So like either it's a viral post or a viral video or something that everybody know about, and it always is gonna tie into what we're gonna talk about. So we've all seen the videos where clients are venting or doing a story time about unprofessional stylists.
What I asked for versus what I got, which is
Ooh,
always
that's always a good one.
But the better ones are when it's like what I asked for versus what I got.
And
when
it's
it's bomb,
man.
you're
And then
like,
you be like,
okay.
Well, I actually really got what I asked for plus more, so that was great.
Yeah.
I actually had experience like that
Did
recently.
you?
Yeah, I tried out a new braider, and I've been braiding my own hair since our mishap.
Mind you, my kids are 6 and 7, so don't do that.
So it's been 6 or 7 years since you haven't been braiding my hair. And so I went to this new braider, and I was like kind of nervous because I was like, well, I don't know like if she gonna do what I really want her to do, and then her website, it was very clear and concise, but I'm a little extra and not. So I had a lot of extra stuff, and I didn't know if she was gonna do it. Me being the unprofessional client.
She probably went and added more like policies.
Stipulations. Just
She's
because
like,
of me.
what? It's a new. Somebody asked for something new. Let me go modify that real quick.
Please don't. But no, she was super accommodating, and she even like, cause I know how like sometimes I feel when it's like somebody want to come and like not disrupt the flow of like how you run things, but
just adding extra things.
Yeah.
So what you asked for versus what you got was a 10 out of 10.
It was a 10 out of 10.
I love
She
that
ate
for you, friend. I
But
love that.
ain't like some of the other horror stories that I've heard. Like,
listen,
like I know you saw that girl recently where the hairstylist was like doing her hair, and she was like looking over her shoulder at her phone, and she was like, "I know you ain't texting Tyreek or whatever his name was. I know you ain't texting him." And she's like, "Cause I know the way he texts." And the girl is like, "What are you talking about?" Like, that's wild to me.
So do you think some of those videos are staged, or do you think it was real?
So that one, I will say, I do think that one was staged. I did take a deep dive on Miss Mama's TikTok, and she did have a 26-part story time that I was not finna watch all of that.
Okay.
But I did catch a couple of key ones because I skimmed through, and the girl ended up texting her back and was apologetic, like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I realized it wasn't Ty Keith you was texting, or whatever his name, Tyreek, whatever his name was. I realized it wasn't him." But then she told the girl that she was childish and unprofessional for putting her picture and likeness online. And she was like, "Oh, I saw you was recording." So if you saw in the moment that you was recording and it was an issue for you, why you didn't say nothing? But also, you was going off on this girl talking about she was texting her, like, that was none of your business what was going on in her phone.
I don't know. I just feel like, when your clients are on your phone, you need to be blind. I don't even want to see anything from your phone, because what if you talking about me and now I got to whoop you?
Ooh, girl. Speaking of, let me tell you, do you remember when that stylist at our old salon whooped her client?
Talk about unprofessional.
Baby,
what led you to beat your client up? Like,
I'm gonna tell you. So I'm gonna just refresh your memory on what happened. So, long story short, the client, she came to get her hair done on a Saturday early. She had somewhere to go that afternoon. She had been there a couple hours already. Hair half done, wash under the dryer, hair dry. She's like, "Mama, when we gonna finish? What's going on? When we gonna finish the rest of my hair?" So she asked her, she said, "Hey, I just want to know, like, how much longer is it gonna be?" Because
she was sweet about it.
She was sweet about it. She was like, "Oh, like, how much more time do we have? Like, I have an event that I have to go to this afternoon." The stylist gonna respond, "I know you didn't come in no black salon on a Saturday and expect to get up out of here in a timely manner." She didn't. I mean, she obviously didn't say it like that, but she basically was like, girl, you know what she was getting into. So the girl, she's out of options. And so she's like, I'm finna go next door to somebody else's suite and see if they can accommodate me. So she goes to the other girl's suite, which happens to be next door. And she asked her like, hey, like, I know this is like last minute, but like, would you have time to do my hair? The stylist overhears, comes over there and says, I know you ain't asking her to do your hair.
But if you had time to go ask if she was doing her hair, you had time to finish that lady
her
hair.
Not a whole silk press. And her hair is already dry. Dried in a fro. She put her under the dryer.
Why do I vaguely remember this?
Man. So then, the client is like, basically like, girl, like, what's going, like, you not doing, I have somewhere to go. So the stylist said, forget all that. I'm about to rock you. Baby, and rock that girl in the hallway. She said, because you ain't going to disrespect me.
Like, how you...
in my place of business.
How you beat the victim up? The client...
She said, I was just trying to get my hair done. I had a ladies' brunch.
Like that poor client. But, okay, definitely unprofessional.
Okay.
That is actually beyond unprofessional.
That's one of the most
You're an actual criminal at that point.
Okay. Baby, actually, that is what happened to her.
She should have.
Because the client did file she did have a case against her.
I would have showed up to every court case.
But that's why she wasn't working there no more. She had got kicked out of the suites for that because they tried to hit the salon's insurance.
That is crazy.
Okay.
And I would have been just like her.
Yeah. That's
But
great.
I think that's why it's so important for us to have like the conversations geared towards professionalism and just, I guess in a sense, I won't say really helping the industry because we should know better, right? In certain... But
I also
do you think there were like red flags for her before then? Like that wasn't her only Saturday that she sat there all day.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so
of course.
It's just little things like that where it's like, okay, girlies. Okay, client girlies.
Client girlies. But
listen up.
I feel like it also kind of like it depends on like what you're willing to put up with.
Ooh,
like
yeah.
What is it? What, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you willing to deal with to get your hair done? And
like her knowing the history of that stylist, why would you come to her on a day that you know you have something to do?
No, maybe she was like, oh, because it's early in the day. She was like, oh, I won't have to, deal with that. But baby, she booked 4 clients at 9 o'clock, baby, and whoever first come first serve. But
that is wild.
What are some ones that you've seen are memorable?
Well, I'll say the most recent one that I've seen is the client that drove 4 hours to get her hair braided.
No, that's that hurt.
The stylist was like, yeah, I'm not working today.
Oh, I saw that. And she said the reason why she said was because she said she didn't feel like it. It wasn't even because like
my dog died, my stomach hurt, nothing. But then told her, have a nice drive home, back or home or something.
Baby, now that's the icing on the cake. Now that.
And
that would have had me waiting at the salon until the next day when she pull up to work.
Literally.
Because I'm rocking you, mama, and then you're still doing my hair afterwards.
You're not doing my hair afterwards, but
no, I paid my $25 deposit. Oh, and she also said that. She said she wasn't getting that deposit back. I remember seeing that. She said, you can come next week. Ooh, that's wild.
4 hours? That lady probably took off work.
I guess it depends where you live, but I ain't driving 4 hours to get my hair done.
I mean, I might.
No.
I'll drive 4 hours for like braids or for like a one-time service. You never know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I guess for me,
I might make that drive.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that was the most craziest one. I'm like, how unprofessional. Like, girl, even if you thought you wasn't gonna work that day,
feel so
today,
bad.
I would feel
so bad.
Do you think that's people pleasing in a sense?
No, that's having compassion for people. Like, and also like you had an appointment booked. Like, it's not like You was unaware that you was gonna service this person. You knew they probably was coming from far. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I don't know.
Like there could have been some kind of like accommodations made.
Something.
Like, hey, I know you just got here. Can you give me another hour and I'll be there? Just something. And
Anything.
then I've heard from other, from some of my regular clients or just clients that come in, some of their stories, and it's like really unbelievable how some people really don't care.
Like the stylist? Or,
Yeah,
oh,
like
yeah.
it's like, oh well,
Ooh, it's.
I can't get you in today.
That's it.
I made a mistake. I
My
thought I was
bad.
off.
Not I thought I was off. I've seen there was like this girl who had booked an appointment with somebody, and like the girl had canceled on her last minute, and then she went on her Instagram, and the girl was like out at like getting coffee or something, like at a coffee shop, like, you know, just relaxing. Like, I'm like, girl, you was relaxing, but you're supposed to be doing my hair today. Like that's real wild. That's real wild.
That's awful, actually. So, I guess.
Like whenever I think about it, like, so okay, so based on off of all of that, you know, we asked the question like, would you rather go to a professional hairstylist who will have your hair looking mid? And when I say mid, like, it's not horrible. Like it'll do, but it ain't gonna be like, ah, damn, that shit lay. Like it ain't gonna be like that. It's not gonna be like that. But it'll be
Okay, before we read
wearable.
everybody else's question answer, what's your answer?
Would I rather go to a professional hair? Oh, I didn't even finish the question.
I'm
But
sorry.
or would you rather go to an unprofessional stylist who the work is fire, like 10 out of 10, like your hair is laid, like you walk out of there, everybody in their mama is like, who did your hair? Like, so that, yeah, that's the end of the question. Now, what did you ask me? What would I rather prefer? I'm definitely going to a professional hairstylist. Most definitely. And the reason is because I don't really have time to waste. And I feel like that's going to be the main unprofessional thing that comes to my mind whenever, like, someone is being unprofessional. Is going to be the time. Like, either you're going to be late or you're going to take too long or, you know, that's, so I would rather, or I would just go to a professional stylist like myself and do my own hair until I can find somebody else who could do it, which is what I've done. Like, if I can, well, obviously, you know, everybody don't have that, you know, they can't do that. But for me, it's like, I would rather do my own hair than go to an unprofessional stylist to have my hair looking cute. Like, I don't want to deal with that. But then also, we'll get into deeper later, but I would rather go to a professional hairstylist.
Okay.
And I feel like a professional hairstylist can learn too. So even
You're
if
not about to be learning on my head, so I'm gonna choose that unprofessional stylist.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
If sis take 9 hours to do my silk press, but it comes out fire, 10 out of 10, I'm walking out the salon and everybody's like, yeah, she's that girl. I'm going for that.
Though? 9 hours.
I'm just gonna have to, like, I may not go often.
So you couldn't just pay more and go to a professional hairstylist that does good?
Well, you said
that's
that.
Not the question.
Yeah,
that's not the question.
Like, obviously, I haven't. I'm gonna say this. I haven't dealt with that.
I'm picking C. Me. I'm picking C.
I haven't dealt with that, but if the option were there, I'm definitely going for the look, which I think, and the reason that we even came up with that question was because I think a lot of people do that now. Like, you go to the
pop-in hairstylist,
right? But you have to deal with a lot. But your hair be laid.
Your hair do be laid.
It do be laid.
And yeah, so we could be divided on that one because I'm like, girl, and I feel like the people's responses were kind of split too. Like, okay, here we go. Someone said, I would choose a professional stylist and I could guide her along the way. So this is somebody else who is like a beauty professional So it's like they're saying like, oh, like if the person is like professional, they could like help them grow into the stylist they need to be. Like for instance, like if it's only a time thing, it's like okay, well like that's something that you can sacrifice because you're like okay, that doesn't mean that much to me. I can spend a little more time at the salon if my hair is gonna be, well, your hair will be kind of mid from the professional in this scenario, but at least
Who in their right mind ever wants mid hair?
but
Only time
that's
I'm
what
okay with
saying.
mid hair is when I did it myself.
But that's what I'm saying. So it depends on what you value in professionalism. But also I don't really necessarily think the end result constitute being professional. Because you can be
No.
professional the whole time, greet them at the door, make sure that you are on time, everything that falls into whatever you consider being
Right.
professional.
Your appointment is at 10. They're washing your hair at 10:02.
Right. But the end result is just like, okay, well, I don't love it, but I can wear this to work
But
and
the
be fine.
experience was.
The experience was great. Or the opposite, and it's like the experience wasn't that great, but baby, you walked out there hair swaying. Okay.
You forget all about it. It's like
No, I
it's
don't.
like I do.
I don't.
I might.
So then that brings up somebody else said, it depends on if the unprofessional has unprofessional hair health practices, which that's a great thing to
Ooh,
see.
that's a good
Great.
Okay, but I really needed everybody to choose A or B because
I mean,
going
they did.
into the detail. But
I mean, she said, well,
depending.
okay, she says, well, if unprofessional means they're on the phone the whole time, then that's fine. But if they're frying my shit just to style, so the
Okay,
style
so
is
then
late,
that's
then it's a
not.
no.
So then we're not talking about that. We're
So
just
you pick a
saying
C. She picked C.
there's no C. It's just A or B. So then you're telling me like you need to figure out.
No, I feel like because it's a caveat. Because you'd be like, okay, if I'm going to the unprofessional stylist,
There's no if.
Well, no. There is because it all depends on like what you consider unprofessional, like as an individual. So like her considering being unprofessional is them talking on the phone. And if you could sit there and get your hair done while they talking on the phone to their baby daddy all day, and they just like, Ray Ray, you need to come pick up the kids and all that, like.
Ray Ray? That's kind of racist.
Oh wow! You know what? Either way, if
Why
they
couldn't it be Todd?
Todd, if you don't come pick up
Thank
the
you.
kids, I'm not playing with you. I mean, right now. Okay. I will get my hair cut into a bob so quick. But like, I think it all boils down to like, what do you consider, being professional and unprofessional, and that would be like the caveat on which you would choose. So like, my main caveat was being on time. Like, of course there's more things that I can go into, but my main one would be on time. Hers would be like, oh girl, well if they just, well, I think actually here what she's saying is healthy hair. Because you being unprofessional doesn't necessarily mean that you're not educated on doing healthy hair. Like you could be an unprofessional stylist and still.
Okay, now we're going down a rabbit hole though.
I mean, that's what it is. Because it's like, unprofessional doesn't mean unhealthy. So if you're still, if like I said, if you're going to somebody who's unprofessional, but your hair is laid and it's healthy, then that also might give you a different reason. Like, I would probably reconsider. I'd be like, well, dang, like she do take 10 hours to
Like
do.
my hair is touching my back.
Okay,
It's long.
if you hold your neck back, it's touching my back. Like, but I think it just all depends on like what you consider to be professional.
Yeah, I guess what you value.
Right. Because someone else said, like, I'm choosing a professional all day, every day. I'd rather have healthy hair than worry about having it styled. I can do that myself. So they're equating it professionalism to also they're lumping it all. Like, if you're a professional stylist, I'm expecting you to be educated enough to provide healthy services.
So I guess, well, what do you define as unprofessional or just professionalism in a whole?
Will definitely be
Within the beauty industry, because I think there's a little.
Well, how about I'm gonna just speak for hair?
Okay.
Like, well, not even because I feel like beauty industry, like hair, makeup, nails, lashes, like they all
Any
can kind of,
service.
they can all fall into the same category. But I definitely think being punctual, like being on time, if you're like, obviously stuff happens and we're all human, and you might be running late on a client, or something might happen where you like, okay, my car and my tire, anything could happen to where you running late. But I think also being professional and communicating that and not waiting is like, if the appointment's at 9 o'clock and you texting them at 9 o'clock, like, hey, I'm gonna be about 20 minutes late. It's like, okay, like you knew that before 9 o'clock, and now I'm here at your door. I would say being attentive to like what the client needs, because a lot of times like I've seen people like will get into they'll get into like a groove of like doing stuff the way that they want to do it and not really listening to like what the client actually wants or needs. Um, but yeah, I would say attentive to client needs, staying like clean and organized, because that'll also help you like move faster. And also, who want to be like coming into the salon where you got like hair all over the floor, you got like I don't know, hair on
Yeah.
the sink everywhere, like just a mess. And I will say like there have been times where it's like, okay, at the end of the day, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm just gonna leave and I'll come in early, and I might still be like tidying up when the client comes, but she'll be right, which I definitely want to work on that. But and I also think what else falls into professionalism is like being educated on like what you're doing. Like, don't sit here and tell me like, oh yeah, like I can do a silk press, or I mean that's kind of a basic, but I can do a silk press, and then I come to you, get a silk press, and my hair is fried off. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, well, you're not really educated on
So do you?
heat
Okay.
damage and all that, and I think
And that's unprofessional.
I think it is unprofessional, because you're
It's false advertisement.
false advertise. There you go. False advertisement. And it's like, just be honest with what you can do. Like, there have been times where this stuff, like a client will come to me and be like, hey, like I want to do this. I'm like, well, I ain't never done it, but we could try if you want to.
try it.
Yeah, like
So then you'd say like communication is definitely like top of the list for.
I wouldn't say top of the
professionalism.
list, but I definitely think being punctual, communication, and being educated on what like the services that you're providing would fall into like my top 3.
I agree. I guess that's what makes you a professional.
That part.
Period.
I'm just saying, I do what I can.
Period.
I do what I can for the girlies.
Do you think you like 100% follow? Well, I know you just said there's some things that you could work on.
Yeah, I definitely think there's always room for improvement. I would say for me, it would definitely be like tidying up a little, maybe like tidying up before, like, or not before, but like at the end of the day, as opposed to like trying to come in early, because there are times where it's like, you might hit traffic, or you might wake up
Now
late.
you late.
Now you late, and you got to clean up, and you know what I'm saying?
One of my clients read me last time. It was a nice read.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I'm running about 10 minutes behind ETA 9:15. She said, is that 9:15 start time?
Oh.
Or will you be arriving at 9:15? I said, oop, she was a new client. So I was like, oop.
Yeah. Because, I mean,
Somebody had her messed up before, so she had to.
She had a little trauma.
She had to, yeah. I was like, oh, she's responding out of like, okay.
Well, I mean, and that's a valid question to answer, because sometimes people will like tell you like, oh yeah, I'll be there at 9:15,
And we don't start till 9:30 still.
Yeah, because
So I even joked with her. I was like, I like that little read down, that little polite read.
It keeps you on your toes.
It definitely, because I was like, oh yeah, when she walks in here at 9:15, I need to be like slapping that cape over her at 9:15.02.
But I also think, I know you said she was a new client, but I think sometimes like you can get comfortable with like clients that you've had for a while and that you have that rapport with, and it's like, they probably wouldn't say nothing, like, but it's kind of like you might need to hear that.
No.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
No,
it's
it
like,
was that I said, I
not,
joked with her about it, but it was
like,
also
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because I would honestly rather, if I did something wrong, or if it was something that you didn't like, I would rather you tell me and like, okay, like, hey, you know, it's a teachable moment. Like, everybody got room to grow, no matter how professional you are. Like, but tell me, like, hey, I ain't like the way you was, you know, doing this, or I ain't like how you took a phone call, like while I was getting my hair steamed and I was in my deep condition because I was trying to take a nap, and you was over here, you know, talking, kikiing on the phone, like.
Okay, but if a client really has to tell you that,
I think it just
I
depends.
rarely talk on the phone with my
I'm just
clients.
using that as an example.
I know, but I'm just saying if that's like something that a client has to tell you, that's actually bad.
But I was
like
just,
if you know, if we're talking about reading the room,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like
But
you can
okay, but
step
what if
out.
it's like something that you couldn't, like, for instance, like, just like how your client said, like, if she's like, okay, are you starting at 9:15, or is like, are you gonna arrive at, you know what I'm saying, like.
And I told her we will be starting at 9:15. I'll be there at 9:10, and we'll start at 9:15.
Yeah.
So it was a good It was a good. We were able to communicate that, and I like that a lot because it probably eased up some of her anxiety dealing with the new stylist who's already running 10 minutes, 15 minutes behind. And it eased up my anxiety because I don't like dealing with clients that don't like to be vocal about what they want. Or like, I don't
Yes.
like the passive aggressiveness or like not saying like, hey, I didn't like this or I didn't like that, because I'm always open to fixing it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a level of professionalism on both sides. You know, you being a client that's spending your money versus me being a stylist that's receiving your money. We want to have a clear communication.
We both want to know exactly what we both doing.
That's it.
Like, we want to be aware of each other's actions. But I also think like with our clients that we've had for a while, like, a lot of times, depending on like your relationship with the client, like, they could either feel like, oh, I don't want to say nothing because, like, I don't want to hurt their feelings. It's like, well, girl, I ain't never really given you a reason to think that, you know, I'm gonna come at you
No.
sideways or be mad. Or, like, I would rather you tell me, let me fix it. Let me, let me give me a chance to fix it. And then, if you give me that chance to fix it and I don't fix it, then it's like, okay, like, but also, devil's advocate, the client really don't owe us nothing.
No.
Like, they really don't.
They
It's
don't
just
have to tell us anything.
It
They
would
can
just
stop.
be,
They can just stop coming if they want to.
yeah. And I've had that happen before too, and I'm sitting there confused, like, well, dang, like,
Did I do something?
right.
And you know, I think, and I'm sure this is slightly off topic, but like you said, they don't owe us anything. So you don't have to say like, oh, I didn't like this or I didn't like that. You can simply another level of professionalism is just not coming back, because
Yeah.
we're not going to please everybody.
Yeah, that is true.
But you can always tell when a client still has some form or some level of respect for you, or just liking you in a sense, when they're like, oh, well, you didn't get this right this time.
But
I'm going to
I
say
think this is
something
an
because
easy-
I want to come back and I want to be a client. So I'm going to say something to see if it's something that can be resolved.
Right. Yeah, I
But I've definitely been in the other seat as a client, mid getting my hair done, like, I'm never coming back.
So, okay, so then that brings me to, okay, what is a situation that you've been in where, well, like an unprofessional situation where, like how you just said, like, I ain't never coming back. I'm good on this.
Okay. I don't know if it was just unprofessional, but I needed I needed a trim. I needed
That's
my bob.
unprofessional.
I needed my bob cut, like, and my hair was already cut
Oh, so you went
in
to
a
Supercuts?
bob. I
Basically.
if they're hiring,
I'm gonna bleep it out. I'm gonna bleep the name out.
if they're hiring, she would have been a great candidate. No, honestly, she probably wouldn't have been. But my bob was already kind of cut. I just needed it cleaned up. Like, it was a 4-week-old cut. You know, your hair grows out a little bit. So I just wanted to go in for a silk press.
Come on, half an inch a month.
Just trim me up, you know, nothing crazy. She pulled out them
She put on the clippers. Kitchen shears.
Oh, oh my! I was like,
I said, what you finna do with the... what you finna cut?
I froze up a little bit. I was like, and I heard like you.
You hear that crunch before they'd be like, oh, do they?
I just knew my hair would like. I was,
It was gonna
like,
fold in.
It definitely. I heard it folding in half. I felt it folding in half.
You said, Mama, that ain't cutting. That ain't cutting it.
And even when I got up, I looked in the mirror. I said, "Oh, this is good."
Oh, lying.
I lied.
Lying. Oh no.
But the reason I did was because, and I could see why some clients do that, because it was like, what you gonna do to fix it with those?
No.
They weren't even. They were like the regular beauty supply scissors that you use. They were scissors. They weren't even shears.
I know what you're talking about.
So
I know what you're talking about.
For me, it was like, well, I know you're not gonna like be able to fix it with those anyway. So I'm gonna just take my L, and I won't be back for that. Something else.
That reminds me of like when I was in hair school and I had met this girl. Like, you know, hey, they would have clients come to the school. And so I met this girl, and she was basically like, oh, you know, like I would love to like come just get my hair done by you like outside of school. And I was like, okay, girl.
You messed her hair up.
She wanted a pixie cut. I said, yeah, girl. I said, I got that. I could do that. So she came to my house.
I don't even want to curl for this one. I gotta listen, because you don't even do pixie cuts now. Was that the beginning and the end of your pixie cut era?
So she came to my house, baby. I cut her hair. It didn't look horrible. It didn't look horrible. Like it was.
But did it look good?
She wasn't giving like patchy or nothing. It wasn't giving like laid. Of course, I was in hair school, still learning the foundations of cutting. I did have shears. I did have shears.
Okay.
So
I'll let you make it with that one.
So after I finished, she gets the mirror, right? She looking in the mirror like, this girl looked me straight in my face. She said, "You're not gonna make me pay for this, are you?" I said, "Oh no." But in my mind, I was expecting like $30, like something.
You said, "Baby."
I said, "Oh no, like no, of course not." Like, but girl.
That's when we both knew.
No, I sat there. That was the day where I was like, you know what? Just be honest about what you can and can't do. Because
from that day forward, it was like I will never again.
Yeah, because honestly, like I was stressed out trying to figure out how to do that shit, trying to remember the YouTube video that I watched. Like, girl.
But would you call that an unprofessional or just a learning experience? Because you had to go through that to know, like, okay.
Oh no, I didn't think it was unprofessional, but I was referring to that more from like the client telling me like at the end, like she wasn't saying like, oh, okay, that's great. No, she said, "You're not gonna make me pay for this, are you?" And I sort of was like, "No, ma'am."
But the way I like got in the car
and cried.
Over 30, okay? I'm not ashamed. I had a lump in my throat because I knew, I was like, I'm finna cry. I had an event to go to that night. The press was good enough, but that bob was shaky. It was jagged. It was jagged.
Jagged edge. Oh my gosh. But you know, okay, so a time that I had an unprofessional situation was this was back when I was still getting my hair cut, and like I would just get the sides shaved. And so I needed a barber like last minute, and I asked one of my friends who owned a barbershop, like, "Oh, you got a recommendation?" You know, because I was like, "Oh, he's just gonna send me to his barbershop, duh." But in hindsight, I'm thinking that he ain't never really have a barbershop, because now that it doesn't matter. But
he never had one?
I don't know. But I was under the impression he did. So I asked him for the recommendation. He sent me the guy's number. It was deep off in the hood, right? Now, I'm not scary, so I've definitely...
But you're also from Germany, so I'm pretty sure
But girl,
you were slightly
I've been
shook.
getting my hair cut in the hood long enough to know that I'm not really scared of them niggas like
Okay.
that. Like, I know that I can go to the barbershop and get my hair cut in the hood and they not going
And rock somebody if you have to?
If I had to, but I know that that's most likely not going to be an issue for me. I've never really been in a barbershop where it's like, they're like, "Oh, like I'm about to fight you." Like it's just you getting their haircut, they talking shit, and that's it. So I pull up. It's in this like little plaza or whatever. I'm like, okay. At the closer I'm getting to going in, I'm like, wow, this is kind of hood. This is kind of hood, but it's like, need my haircut. Need my haircut. So I walk in, and
You had to see it through.
literally everybody turned. It got kind of quiet, and everybody had looked at me when I had walked in, because it was a whole bunch of hood niggas like. And so, and you know, I came in there like, la-di-da, you know, I need my haircut. So I tried
Like,
to
did it feel like the music stopped?
It definitely did. It definitely did. So, you know, I'm not knowing where to go. This is my first time. Like, so I was like, I said, is D-Lo here? And they said,
Was that his name?
yeah. So they was like, oh yeah, he ain't here yet. He ain't here yet. He should be here in a minute. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and have a seat, you know. So I sat down. 10 minutes passed. I'm like, this was the longest 10 minutes because I'm just like, I ain't never been here before. I don't even know what this man looked like. Everybody that's coming to the door, I'm like, is this D-Lo? Is this not? Like, what he, you know?
Where is D-Lo?
Where is he at? So I texted, so after 10 minutes, I text him and I said, hey, I'm here at the shop. Like, what's your ETA? He gonna text me back talking to my son, oh, I should be in there about 20, 30 minutes. He was like, yeah, me and my girl, we sharing a car right now, and I had to take her to work and do it.
Oh,
in
D-Lo,
my mind,
I ain't trying to hear all that.
I ain't trying to hear all that. I'm like, sir, like, you couldn't have told me this 30 minutes before my appointment. Like, even if he would have told me before I had got over there, because it was a far drive. Like, it was deep off in, like, Oak Cliff. Like, it was far. And so, far from where I live. But, so, you know, after he said that, he said, oh, yeah, you know, I just got to drop her off, and then I'm going to be up there, so it should be like 20, 30 minutes. I said, I will not be here when you get here.
Oh, so you never even met D-Lo?
No, baby,
You don't
I
even know
left
what
it.
D-Lo-
No, I left
Where'd you
it.
go?
I went to this barber shop in Deep Ellum, and you know what?
You never went back.
I didn't, but it wasn't it was actually at that like barber shop where it's like a bar and it's like a barber shop. It's like a barber shop in the front, and then at night, it like in the back, it turned into a bar. I don't know, but the guy, he actually didn't do a horrible job on my haircut, but it was just like not. It was mid, super professional. He was mid. The guy.
Oh, well, looky.
Yeah, but
But you didn't go back.
I didn't go back, but I also wasn't planning to be a reoccurring client there. That was just catching me in a bind. You know what I'm saying?
So if you got caught in another bind, you'd go back.
To get my hair cut?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to Dante.
Oh.
Like, what?
But if he's busy, then and you're in another bind,
I'm not going to be in a
back.
bind because I'm not getting my hair cut.
Okay, but you don't know that.
Well, either
I'm
way,
just saying.
If I was in a
you
bind.
just contradicted yourself because
You're
you
right.
said, okay.
You're always right. You're always right. But no, if I was in a bind and I had to get my hair cut, I probably just, especially if I was getting my hair cut, I am not going to wait. Like, I am going to wait. I'm not going to just be like, oh, well, I'm just going to settle. No, I'm just going to wait until, and at this point in my life, I know a couple of barbers that I know for sure.
So you're saying like, oh, I'll never be in that situation, so.
I wouldn't say I'll never be in that situation, but at the current point in my life, when it comes to hair cuttery, barbery, I'm good love. But yeah, like, even for braids, like, the girl who I started going to, like, she shampoos your hair before she braids your hair. That is unheard of.
That is so
That is unheard of. And like, for me, like, I'm going to the salon already to get my hair shampooed pretty regularly.
So you think she better than me?
Well, you don't braid, so which one you gonna do? Either you gonna braid or you gonna shampoo. But I can't get both.
I don't know. I just feel like you never praised me like that. So.
Because you don't even braid for real. And you always come up with excuses. You always talk about, I'm pregnant. My feet hurt. My knees hurt. My hands hurt. My arthritis. I can't braid. That's how you sound.
I do not have arthritis.
That's how you sound. That's how you sound, though. That's how you sound to me. That's how you sound to me.
First of all, I do not have arthritis.
Okay, but that's what you be lying about.
Knock on wood, because
that's what you be lying about. You be
I
saying,
ain't never said I
my
had
fingers
arthritis.
hurt. my fingers hurt.
So what do you think I do when I do sew-ins?
I don't know what you do when
this
you do
doesn't matter
sew-ins.
because I'll never braid your hair.
You know,
You ain't never got to worry about it.
I'm not going to argue with a fool. I'm not going to do it.
Well, don't argue with yourself.
I'm not going to do
Don't
it.
argue
You ain't
with
got to worry
yourself
about
then.
me. You ain't got to worry about me.
That's fine.
But anyways.
Matter of fact, cut the cameras.
Cut the camera.
I'm
We're done. I'm out of here. I don't need this. My man got 2 jobs.
Oh, does he now?
So what man?
Well,
I'm gonna tell you about him. I'm gonna tell you about him off camera.
Manifestation.
There ain't no manifestation. I'm gonna tell you about him off camera.
You ain't got no man.
Anyways, so how do you now? I told you how I feel like I can improve my professionalism. What are some things that you think that you can improve upon to make you more professional?
Nothing. I'm perfect.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know, because your client did try to read you. I don't know. She's so perfect.
She asked me how was it
Yeah,
gonna start at
she tried
9:15?
to say it lighthearted so you wouldn't be in your feels.
I think I could set better boundaries
Ooh, that's a good one.
because although it is beneficial to the client for the lack of boundaries that I've had before and some that I still carry today, I think it'll be better for me and the client if the boundaries were a little bit more clear in certain instances.
Do you mean like if you're getting too friendly?
Not necessarily too friendly, but it could be something like, like you said earlier, oh, I don't do that. Or if you feel uncomfortable doing something and you do it anyway, and it's like, well,
then it don't come out right.
Now it doesn't come out right.
Now you both mad.
Yeah, like I'm mad because I did it thinking that just being on some people pleasing and
that's how I used to feel about the frontal ponytail.
So it's like
I used to be like, okay, I'll just do it. Like it ain't that bad, and then I'd be in the moment like, oh my god, I hate doing
why did I do this? Yeah. So and when you don't set those boundaries, you just create a lot of resentment between you and the client. She's mad because you didn't
said you could do it.
Yeah, or it could be anything where it's like sticking to my schedule. Like I prefer not to work on the evenings. I'm a mama. So I don't like to work in the afternoon, late in the afternoon or evenings. And when I do have clients that request it and I'm like, okay, well, let me try to be accommodating. I need to stick to that boundary so that
and be like,
I'm
just
not going
available.
to, and a lot of times, like I said, that does create a lot of resentment between you and the client because
now you're over there mad.
Where you should have set a boundary, you didn't, and
it's not their fault.
Now exactly. But it's not their fault, but everybody's mad.
Yeah, and for me, I also hate when people, like, whenever I'm going to like a service provider and they don't set boundaries, but like, it's like almost like they don't set boundaries, so I don't know what the boundaries are. So like, for instance, like there have been times where I'll be like, hey, like, can you do X, Y, Z, and they know, oh, I don't like to do that, or that's something that I don't do. But then they'll say yeah, and they'll have attitude and be resentful about it. And it's like, well, I didn't even know that you didn't do that. I had just asked if you could.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or just like even if how we've talked about before, like if you ask a client to be like, if you ask a client to be like, okay, well, we will, like, are you able to come later, or are you able to come earlier? And they're like, oh yeah, I can try to make it. I just gotta move it. Okay, can you come or not? Yes or no?
Just clear yes or no questions. But I mean, back to what you asked me as far as like what else I mean. There are a few areas that I could be that I could be better.
Name 3.
Okay, so I said boundaries. Communication, consistency with my schedule. I think sometimes I know a lot of clients, they'll text me and I just get busy with life, and mainly my newer clients. And this isn't, I'm gonna say in these areas I'm a 8. So when you say I could be better, I could be a 10. You
it's
know?
not like we're lacking. It's just
it's like
things can be improved.
Right. And then the other one is having my website ready.
Whew, baby, that's one for me too, because the way I've been revamping and redoing my website for 2 years.
Like, I don't think people should have to reach out to me via email or a text message when they want to purchase hair or when they want to purchase any hair or wigs that I'm selling. And right now I don't have that together. So although I try to handle it in the most professional way that I can, I could still be a lot more professional.
Polished.
Yeah.
Right.
I could definitely polish up in a whole lot of ways. But I will say in the last 3 years, I've grown a lot when it comes to, just being punctual, communication, learning who my clientele is. Because I think that ties into professionalism as well. If you have somebody sitting in your chair and you know that they're not a good fit for you, I think we should always be a lot more vocal about that instead of just taking a client on just because there's a dollar sign attached to their head.
Yeah, because sometimes it comes with like more stress.
And
for
sometimes
both people,
it's not even.
It's like you feeling like, okay, I'm inadequate because it's like every time I'm doing it, like you saying you don't like it, but you keep coming back, but I'm trying to fix it. You're not really telling me what you want. Like,
just kind of recognizing like, okay, well, we're just not a good fit.
Right.
And that's okay. Like, there's no harm or foul when it comes to you being able to distinguish that.
Yeah. I think just to add on some more things, I think I need to be more consistent with my snacks because there was a time where I literally would have snacks all the time, different, and I would be like switching them out. But then, like, I don't know at what point I kind of just got busy and then like stopped refilling the snacks as frequently. And my clients was like, every time they would come in here, they'd be like, "Oh, you ain't got no snacks?" I'm like,
sorry.
Yeah, so I'm definitely trying to be more intentional
so
about.
Maybe consistency within every area of the salon?
I wouldn't say every area. I just said with snacks.
Well, no, I'm just saying when you. I'm just saying, like,
No,
when you just being more consistent.
I think consistency really with everything helps, but also I think with more effort into my like salon outfits, like consistency with like my appearance, because a lot of times like I ain't gonna lie, I just don't feel like dressing up for work if I know I gotta do bleach or color. Like, I ain't trying to mess up my cute stuff.
But so we had a conversation maybe 2-3 years ago where we were both like purging our closets to where it's like, okay, no matter what we wear,
it's gonna be a look.
It's gonna be a look. And then we even have, do you still have like your bleach clothes that you wear?
Well,
where it's still kind of like a look, but it's like, oh, but I know I'm doing bleach in this.
If I'm doing bleach, I'll usually wear, and hopefully we get sponsored, I wear my Adidas track pants because they do not get bleached.
Oh.
Like, literally, I have gotten bleach color, everything on them, and they have not bleached at all. But there's also this brand that I did see on Instagram. I'll put it in the link if I can find it again, or in the description. But they actually have clothes like blazers and t-shirts and stuff that doesn't bleach. And I'm like, that would be like the perfect investment.
Okay, so now I have to add a number 4 to where I could improve, because there are a lot of times where I'm going into the salon with my athleisure.
Yeah, but like, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, because sometimes like the athleisure be like the little sets be really cute.
Yeah, but I've gotten a whole lot better because when I was a fresh mama, two little babies at home, I was coming in no makeup, not even a little draw on my brow, a hat with an unfinished ponytail up under it, and some sweatpants and a baggy shirt, ready to do some hair. And
that always feeds into those jokes where it's like, what I look like versus what my stylists look like.
Exactly. And
that was
me. Like, I'm gonna chunk it up to being a new mommy, but still.
Yeah, me too.
Your child is 14.
He is 9.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. But I think that's something that over time, I've evolved and definitely make sure that I go to work looking like something. Because when you look good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you do better work.
That part. Better pizza, better Papa John's. Better hairstyles, Papa John's.
Better everything.
Okay.
But yeah, I think when you look better, you definitely feel better. But the way I would like to improve is step away from my athleisure a little bit and maybe pull a couple more looks.
Yeah.
But sometimes if I'm standing on my feet doing 2, 3, 4 sew-ins a day, do I really want to?
I wear my platform Crocs. Because, baby, it's a look, but it's also like a little fashion. Makes me look 6'2".
And and they look comfy too.
They're not.
They're
not as
not?
comfy as you would think. It's really mainly for the look.
Oh,
but,
wow.
I mean, they're not uncomfortable, but they're not as comfortable as, like, regular Crocs.
That sucks.
What's some advice that you can give to, like, somebody who's just starting out? Or, like, what advice you would give to yourself, like, when you were starting out?
Start off strong. I mean, no is a complete sentence.
Okay. That's very true. Because a lot of times you'll get in the habit of being like, oh, well, no, because blah, 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 blah. No, just no.
Just no. No
That's
works.
cute. I like those girls. I'm like,
Who, mine or yours?
yours.
Oh, thank you. Finding your tribe. Like, I know in the beginning, you're trying to get every client you can get in. It don't matter who it is, what they want. Oh, you want a pixie? I'll do it. Come on.
I feel very attacked by that. I feel very attacked.
You want a pixie? I can do it. I've been doing pixies for about 5, 6 years.
I told you that out of confidence.
No, just starting how you want to finish. Being open to hearing your client's point of view.
Yeah.
From
not taking offense.
Yeah, like listening to what they say, asking questions, thinking about. Oh, definitely don't do your client like that. Unprofessional. Knock the hoe upside her head.
Yeet.
But
I love this word.
Starting out punctual. But I think, I went to beauty school with a lot of students who were really professional. So I don't even think a lot of them even started out wrong. And I won't even say I started out wrong, but there was a level of growth that comes up from it. So I guess just being open to every area of growth that you can think of.
I agree. And I also went to Paul Mitchell, and they kind of like instill that in school.
Oh, well, I went to Tony and Guy.
I know, I was comparing.
It's not, but it's not better than, your school isn't better than Tony.
It's not better, it's not worse. I can't compare because I didn't go to Tony and Guy, but I respect your opinion.
Don't be professional with me.
But I feel like those type of schools, like, I'm gonna say, if you're invested in the career, like, if you go to school and you really want to learn, like, you will learn how to be professional at them schools. Like, they really start you off from, like, the consultation, bringing the client to, like, at Paul Mitchell, you would bring the client to the station, have the consultation, figure out what you're going to do, take them to the shampoo bowl, see what products you're going to use, all that. And so it kind of already sets you up. You
definitely leave well-groomed.
Right.
Like, to where you take a lot of everything that you learn and you do it in the salon. So wherever you started or finished in hair school, it's just up from there. Right.
But I think that kind of ties into, like, what I would recommend. Am I boring you? I'm sorry. That kind of ties into, like, what I would, say to, like, somebody who's just starting out. Like, definitely think, like, creating, like, a strong foundation in, like, what they want to do, like, as far as, like, your consultation, like, what whatever you do, whatever you want to do, like, with your clients, like, whether it's, like, if you want to offer snacks, if you want to, do whatever, but just being like creating a strong foundation within that. And I think also learning like the theory behind what you do, like because a lot of times people will do stuff and they won't really know like, okay, well, why does this work or why doesn't this work? But it's helpful like when you're trying to like explain that to the client like, hey, like this isn't gonna work because of XYZ instead of just being like, no.
I still believe no is a complete sentence.
I mean, it
so
is, but
I don't think an explanation is due for everything.
not for everything, but I definitely think in some
I mean,
some
you could give them that.
You could throw them a little bone.
Give them a little something. But you know what that makes me think of? How to remain professional with an unprofessional client.
Okay, I think that is a good one. I would say like staying calm, like not really getting.
It's above me now.
It's above me now. It's out of my hands. I would say staying calm, and like standing firm standing firm in your policies. Like, say for instance, if like you said, like if a client knows like, okay, this person she don't work on Mondays, but I'm gonna ask her anyway and see what she gonna say, and then by you staying like, okay, I mean, I guess that's not really like a difficult client.
I mean, okay, I'll give you an example of how I've had to deal with unprofessional clients. Hey, I appreciate you for coming to me. I appreciate your business. However, I do not think that I am the stylist for you.
You. I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
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 I mean, you never know. You have to be prepared.
But, okay,
You never know.
Okay,
they might come at you.
Let's role play.
Let's role play.
Okay. You start off as the difficult client.
Okay, what's the scenario?
I just did your hair and it's fire. I came in earlier for you and I'm here on my off day.
So why am I being difficult? Why am I?
Because you just are.
Okay. So I know you just finished my hair.
But does it cost that much? Like
okay,
cost?
are you gonna let me tell you what's wrong with my service, or
okay. Go? All right, we're role playing. And
action. Hi. Okay, so I love my hair. It looks great. I did have a few things. Like, I don't know if you can. Like, I don't know if I'm tripping. Like, if I stand, like, can you see the lace? I mean, I know we didn't use a lace closure, but I just feel like it looks like lace. Like, I don't.
Your scalp look like lace?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it looks wiggy. Like, I don't know. Like, no, it look like I love it. It looks great. It looks great. It's just I just feel like it looks. And then like the haircut. Like, I didn't really want it like this short. Is there like any way that we can like just make it like a little bit long? Like I kind of made like, well, maybe like right here, like just want the layers to start. Just something like,
Okay. Hey, my love.
Beloved.
Every time you come to your appointments, you do have a couple of grievances about your hairstyle. I do the best that I can when it comes to providing the service to you.
I don't know if this is the best, but
I mean, I'm doing my best. And if my best happens to not be good enough for you, I totally understand that, which is why I think that I am not the stylist for you. I have several different.
No, I was just playing. Like, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. No, it's fine. I actually really don't even mind.
No,
like, it really is. I'm not even complaining.
No, I'm not the stylist for you.
I love my hair.
And it's not you. It's just me. I get it's a lot of pressure dealing with clients like that. And I have no other clients. All of my other clients are perfect, and you're not. So they love me, and you kind of don't. So I don't think that this, I think you should look for another hairstylist. I don't think I'm the stylist for you. Well, I appreciate you for your business, and I thank you for coming to me as long as you have. Mm-hmm. But
right.
I think we've come to the end of our road.
Okay, thank you. And I really appreciate that. I really appreciate your feedback. But that's not going to work for me. So what I will do is let's go ahead and book for 2 weeks. I just want to get a shampoo, and those curls that you did last time. Like, I really. Well, I just checked on your online booking and it says you're available.
Okay, check now.
I didn't want to come to you anyway. She's unprofessional.
figured.
She unprofessional anyway.
I figured.
But
Can't please
but
everybody.
I think just like how you did, like standing firm in your policies, knowing exactly like, okay, like I know I didn't do nothing wrong. And I also think admitting when you wrong too.
Oh, accountability is a part of
yes, we
professionalism
definitely forgot
because
to
we
touch
are
on
not
that.
always right.
Right.
We are
just-
not always right. Like if you are, there has been a couple times in my career that I have not gotten it right. And I come back and say, hey, I didn't get this right. I know I didn't get this right. Let's fix it. What can I do to
Right.
fix it? Or even if to the with the saying like the customer is always right.
They not.
They're not, but when they're not, they could be. So
Yeah.
their feelings are valid, and I think
You gotta play devil's advocate sometimes. 'cause
yeah, and I
sometimes
think
you
like
know.
okay, well I don't really like how this is sitting. Okay, well let me try to do something
Yeah.
different. Let me try, and then when it gets to a point where it's like okay, I've tried everything. I've tried A
Yeah.
through Z. Nothing is working for you. It's not you, it's me. I think you should go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I think also sending a client on their way is a form of accountability that you as a stylist
Yeah,
can
like
have
I can't
so that
accommodate
you
you.
don't.
I can't
yeah.
do it how you want me to do it, and that's okay. I'm fine with that.
Listen.
But I just think, yeah, I think being able to take accountability, and then also like, just I don't know, just being able to like, let me pull up my notes. Just being able to like, oh, that's what I wanted to say. Like also like being compassionate too. Like if somebody comes to you with a grievance, like you still want to be compassionate even if it might be like annoying. Cause just like I've had clients that will literally be like, they'll show me a picture of how they want something curled, and I'm like, okay, we can do something similar, and then I do it, and they be like, well, on her hair, it's like there's a curl right. It's like, girl,
Okay,
like
I got you.
no, and they'll be like this one girl, she would be like, oh, you see how her hair is parted, like they'll part it like a side, and you see how it like comes up like I didn't, for the life of me, I didn't know what she was talking about, like. Literally, I did not know what she was talking about, and it was to the point where I was like, "Girl, like, you need to stop."
Did you add some fluff in there to make it?
I mean, because she would just kind of like go like this, and I'm like, okay, that if that's what you think it is, like whatever, like that's fine, but it just whatever. But I still was like patient, and I was like, okay, like even though I'm not seeing the vision, I'm still gonna try to like work with you and just come to
patience.
patience, but coming to like a mutual resolution. Like,
Yeah.
how can we both be satisfied? And if we can't, then what's
Because
how
I'll
can we
let you
move
tell me
forward?
how you want your hair done.
Yeah.
You tell me how you want me to curl it. You tell me how you want me to put it in a ponytail.
Not put it. You
I'm
said you
here
don't
to
do
please
ponytails. You
you,
said you don't do
baby.
ponytails.
I'm just
Let
saying.
you tell it. Let you tell it. You don't do no ponytails.
So that wraps up our first episode. Please let us know your thoughts and anything you'd like to see from us moving forward. If there's some things that we didn't touch on when it comes to professionalism and unprofessionalism, some of your experiences, some of the things that you see, some of the questions you may have, let us know. Put it in the comment section. We are open. And even to some of our clients, like...
Don't be afraid to read us, but be nice. Be respectful. No, I'm just kidding.
Be
no,
cute. Be mindful, okay?
Be very demure. Be very mindful when, But I feel like, honestly, you should be mindful whenever you're grieving, like having a grievance with someone. Like,
Yeah.
Like, you can come to them and be like, hey, like, I just really didn't like the way, is there any way we can fix this? Like, you ain't got to come at me like, I hate this shit! And it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I am so, because...
Sorry.
One last thing to roll back on. Because I feel like the energy that they bring to you is also kind of like inadvertently the energy you trying to bring back. Like, if a client is coming to you all, very soft and demure and,
You can be, it's easy to be that
Yeah,
way, but
you
when
can
they're a
still-
little rough around the edges,
it's like, I'm going to rock your ass back. Like,
hold on now, sister.
right.
But you also don't have to meet bad energy with bad energy. You can
You
meet
don't.
bad energy with good energy and turn it
And
into
that's
a
a part of
positive
professionalism.
thing. Professionalism.
Yeah.
The word for the day.
Maintain professionalism.
So,
But yeah, and if you want, this List Mama will be for sale. If you want to check her out on my website, she'll be available on there once this episode drops. Look at these layers. She's on and popping. And you can purchase her at follicleextensions.com. I'll put the link in the description box.
my good sis is not for sale, but however, if you want one like her or anything similar, you can follow me on Instagram at Hair by Margot Ryan, and the link is in the bio for you to book your custom wig consultation. That's it.
That's our first episode. Okay, so stay tuned.
Hello.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, I was gonna say stay tuned for our next episode, which will come out every other Monday. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, peace.
You got to work it, walk, but work it, yeah, you work it, walk, but work it. You got to work it, walk, but work it, yeah, you work it, walk.